Hello everybody, I am Dr. Rajesh Bajaj. I am discussing with you people the topic on the operations management. Last lecture, I gave you the introduction to the subject, then we talked about the transformation process, how the system works, and then over a period of time, how the scientific nitty-gritty of the operation management has evolved over the period of couple of centuries and where we are currently. Today, I am going to talk to you people about as a manager, operation management, as an operation manager, what are the decisions you have to make, and then what is the scope of the operation manager. This is what in details I will be discussing with you people. As an operations manager, what exactly are the expectations from you? You should be able to increase the volume of production. You should be able to use all your machines, all your manpower most optimally. The productivity level should be high. And at the same time, you should be able to meet the requirement of your customers in the market as per the commitments made. So basically what it boils down into the management language is that you have to improve the volume of production, the quantities. Your quality should be first class. In case that the quality is bad, your product gets rejected within your premises, or in case at the customer end, obviously it is a scrap, or maybe in case you are able to rework on that, that will be involving the extra material, extra manpower, that is extra cost. And it will be affecting your competitiveness. Your object should be to minimize the rework which is involved out of your operations. Then maintaining the delivery schedules or the delivery commitments. Controlling the usage of your machines, manpower, so that the maximum utilization and minimal wastage. This is going to directly affect your fixed cost which go for the manufacturing or the operations. You have to have the work in a systematic manner. That means you have to design out the processes, you have to design out the procedure as a operation manager and implement those. Otherwise, you will not be able to fully use your resources and will not be able to get the requisite qualities. For doing all this, your information system should be very, very strong. Which machine, at what time, what work is being done, what is the commitment in the market. So that means your management information system should be very properly embedded into your operations management. Present day, when you are going for the micro segmentation, the customer requirements, every customer has got the different requirement. You may have to change the production lines. You may have to change the testing schedules. You may have to change the material requirement. So that means your machines will have to be tuned onto the one product to the other product. During that changeover time, your man is idle, your machine is idle. And your objective is to minimize that changeover time so that in the shortest possible time, you can move from the one product to the other product. Overtime. This is the biggest problem in the Indian operations. We have to cut onto the overtime, that extra financial burden. We should plan our operations in such a manner that without any overtime, we are able to complete our jobs, because in case that particular trend sets in, you will find that the extra financial burden which may not be very competitive for your operations. Accidents. Your operations should be absolutely safe for the people who are working. Your products which you are manufacturing, it should be absolutely safe for the users, because in case there is any probability of the accident during the operations or post-operation in the usage of the product, it is going to have the very serious repercussions on your acceptability of your product. Your yield, what are the raw material you are using it, what are the resources you are using it, certain amount of the wastages have to be there. But to what extent? As compared to your competition, are you wasting more material, more resources? Then you are not competitive. So your yields of your operations should be the highest possible. environment under which your operations are taking place, your housekeeping. It should be of the good quality. Otherwise, you find that in case things are cluttered around, the people will not be able to deliver their best. Next, of course, is the continuous training of your people, the team building. Presently, the complex technologies, unless the people work as a team and they are trained onto the new technologies, you will find that the requisite quality will not be coming on, and you will be able to waste more, and you will not be able to give the good product in the market. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we move on to the next concept. What exactly is the scope of the operations management? We talk about what exactly the scope of the operations management. Broadly, in the project analysis, we have already taken care of the environmental inputs. We have taken care of the marketing inputs. Now, once the regular production has to start and your project studies are completed, basically you will be going in for the certain activities which the operations manager has to take care of. Where do you want to set up your operations? The location. Whether it's the international location or the national location, there will be certain constraints. You have to very seriously look into all these issues and then decide where your operations have to start. Once you have decided about the location and your project planning decides that how much area is required, how much land is required. Once the land is required, then the construction should start depending upon your machine layouts. Because in case you goof up on your machine layouts, you will find that your machines, linkages providing onto the machines will become difficult. Again, you will be breaking the masonry work, which may not be very, very healthy practice. So you have to work on your layouts in a very, very systematic manner. Then the layout plans. After that, you got to order for the machines, procure the machines, installation of the machines, testing of the machines, and next comes the manpower, human beings. In the complex technologies, that the people with the special skills, special training, they would be required. Maybe you hire the raw people, you make the arrangement to train them as per your requirement, or pre-trained people you pick up from the market, but then different categories of the people will have to be procured and they will have to be given the local training. Then come the next stage that you procure the raw material, all the other inputs, whether the utility is required. So all those materials have been arranged, your machines are installed, your raw material is available, people are trained, and then you start your cycle of operations. You start producing and selling into the market. Market feedbacks will be there. In case any changes are required, those will have to be implemented, whether the changes in the design, whether the changes in the operations, those will have to implement it. Now, apart from these mainline functions, there are certain other activities which need to be taken care of. These other activities, basically the quality management. In a competitive environment, unless your quality is the world class, your customers may not be inclined to pick up your product. You are no more operating into the seller's market, it's a buyer's market. The customer has got a lot of variants available, opportunities are available. Unless it satisfies the customer needs and gives the quality standards expected by the customer, your product will not find the buyers. So quality has to be taken care of right from the beginning in every stage of your operation management. Maintenance, high quantity production. There is no scope for your machines giving way. Your machine gives way, one machine gives way in the whole line, your whole production stops. Whole manpower goes idle. So that means that your machine should be able to give you the uninterrupted service for the long periods. That's possible only in case the maintenance activity is planned properly and all your machines are maintained properly and are running smoothly as per your planning. Different products, different quantities, these had to be coordinated, and that job that the production planning and control, accordingly the materials required depending on the quantities to be manufactured for a particular model, and this production planning and control becomes very important, and this has to be scientifically implemented. How you carry out your work, your procedures, these have to be continuously reviewed and then only implemented. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your process control in the complicated product, you have to go in a systematic manner. Unless your processes are properly designed and implemented, then you are not going to get the requisite quantities and the required quality. Your work, don't create unnecessary complications. Let it be as simple as possible. And work simplification, present day environment becomes a very important issue to be taken care of. Apart from your regular production, continuously you have to take care on all these facets of the operations so that you have the maximum productivity and the best quality availability. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after having discussed on to the what are the various expectations, what is the scope of the operations management and the decision which you people have to make as a manager. Now, in case we try to look into this, that what are the basic requirements for carrying out the proper operations. Historically, we have been talking about the 5 M's of production. Well, you all must be remembering that those 5 M's when we talk, the man, machine, materials, money and methods. These are the 5 M's traditionally we have been talking about. But then over a period of time, this philosophy of the 5 M's have become redundant. We used to talk about the men. Do you see in the shop floor or the operations management being done only by the men? No more now. Present day, the men and women with the different skills, they are coming out, and almost 50% of the burden of the operations management or the workers, they all are women. So no more that we are using the men for as a requisite input. We talk about the people. People means men and women with the different skills, with the required training, with the physical capacities, who are sharing the total burden. So men have become people now. Earlier, when the technology was not very advanced, any production activity that required maybe simple machines, 1 or 2 or 3 machines, you could produce the product. But now, with the innovations coming in, technology becoming more and more advanced, that the single machine may not be able to do the total work. So you require the amalgamation of the too many machines with the different activities carrying out, which are assembled in the form of a plant. So instead of the machines, we talk about the plant now, where the different inputs at the different stages are inducted. Maybe certain maybe gases are required, certain liquids are required, so it becomes a total plant activity where the complicated products are being produced. Advanced products, certain synchronized operation in a sequence manner has to be carried out. This is where comes the concept of the processes. One after the other different activities have to be carried out, so the process has to be formulated, and accordingly only you will be able to carry out the work. So it becomes the processes. We had 1M as the money. Money is no more an issue. Plenty of money is available in the market in case your concept is good, your idea is good, and your project is good. There is no limit, any amount of the money will be available in the market. We had the methods. Instead of the methods, now we have the procedures. For any activity, any job to be carried out, proper procedures are to be drawn out and followed, because in case you don't follow the procedures, you will find that the slippages are going to be very expensive proposition in the form of the quantities or the poor quality products coming out of your line, which will be very expensive. 1M we had the materials. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now most of the production lines, we don't start with the raw materials. We have moved on to the assembly lines where the specific units, they manufacture the certain parts, and those parts are being assembled to give the final product. For that matter, you take the case of a car manufacturing. No car manufacturer uses the raw material Different companies, their ancillaries, or maybe the different companies, they're making the parts and the car manufacturer is assembling. So instead of the material, we have started talking about the parts. So basically from 5 M's, we have switched over to the 5 P's. These 5 P's: people, plant, process, parts, and the procedures. These are the 5 P's what we will be talking about in our further discussions.